of horses to point at as being a star, but you put $3 million plus in the bank, you certainly have to sit up and take notice. All right, John, let's shift our attention to some of the racing for this afternoon. You have a few races to look at for us. I took a look at Aqueduct this morning on the handicappers report, so I'll be interested to see if we have any meeting of the minds here. You're going to kick things off race number 4, conditional claimer at the 20,000 level, non-winners of 2 lifetime. They're going to go 6.5. Your thoughts on the 4th?
Fourth race is a very intriguing race. It goes 6.5 furlongs, and I think the horse going off the favorite is going to be number 7, Mrs. Bean. But Christophe Clement tells you what he thinks of this horse. When coming off the layoff, yes, the horse probably wants a nice, easy spot, but he sent the horse to Suffolk Downs, where you're going to be being up against the track, and the horse breaks made by 9.25 lengths. Now comes back down, running for 20,000, now wins 2 lifetime. So at the price this horse is going to go off, I just can't do it. Now, I think an intriguing horse is going to be number 1, Raven Rise. First time Bobby Barbera, looks like a private purchase. The horse did break the maiden last time out, did come off the pace to do it. Makes the third start, off a little bit of refreshing. First off for Barbera, you got Irad maintained the mount here, and then if the horses do like expected this stuff, which do tire, I think Raven Rise could do the job. Also, another horse to look out for, number 3, Pegasus Blue. You look at the past performances, maiden 75, broke its maiden, but by number 23, but Engelhardt adds Lasix. And the intriguing thing is the jockey. Christian Santiago Reyes is going to be running in New York this winter. Nick Sulis, who had Jose Espinosa last year, has his book. And the one thing about Santiago Reyes is my friend Pat Cummings at Trackers did these jockey ratings at Del Mar, and a couple of years ago, Santiago Reyes, I think, was second in the jockey ratings for saving ground and being successful.
All right.
At Del Mar. So on the inner track, that's what you need. And a guy like that could definitely take advantage and could bring us some nice prices for you.
Yeah, that's a good, some good info to point out, because I remember when he was out in Southern California and raised some eyebrows out there. So now he's shifting over to the winter in New York. We'll keep our eyes on him. I went with the number 5 in that race, but we're in the same boat as our thought process here. I'm with you. I think Mrs. Bean's going to take a lot of action, but I certainly think that one is worth taking a little bit of a shot against. All right, the 5th race today is an optional claimer starter allowance at the $50,000 level. They're scheduled on the turf at 1.16 miles. Your thoughts on the 5th?
I'm going to the rail with number 3, Win the Bosphorus. Now, this is a horse who John Toscana claimed for $35,000, 2 starts back from Steve Asmussen. Last time out, he ran the horse in the Loose Stakes, where it got absolutely hammered, but that horse is not a stake horse. So now the horse comes back down to a starter optional claimer. I think it's going to be on the pretty close to the pace with Angel Arroyo, and I think this horse, 6-1, is going to be pretty nice value.
I'm right with you. Meeting of the minds there. I'm looking for this horse. I'm hoping we clear the number 10, and I think given the early fractions, Win the Bosphorus usually fires. We will, particularly from the rail. So I'm looking at it as a catch-me-if-you-can kind of scenario. So I'm with you. I have the number 3 on top. And race number 8 today, a state-bred allowance, non-winners of 1 other than. Again, they're on the grass at 1.16 miles.
Okay, this horse won't be loose on the lead, but he's definitely owned by the guy who co-hosts Loose on the Lead, Toy Cannon. This is a horse who finished pretty strong, be beaten half a length last time out at Aqueduct, which is a good sign because not everybody can handle the tight turns at Aqueduct and still run successfully. Now, granted, this horse doesn't have much early speed, but if you look at the race, Mississippi Duel is going to be on the front end, and this is a horse who led every step of the way, basically to finish first, but then was disqualified for drifting out and stretch for 20,000, which means the horse is getting tired. And now the horse is stepping up in class, which means there should be enough pace in the race, and I think Toy Cannon can get up in time for the victory.
I'm with you. Again, a meeting in the minds. I think Toy Cannon might have to step it up just a half a step, but I think this horse is just ready. It looks kind of primed to pop today. I agree. I have Toy Cannon on top as well. All right, John, certainly, as always, appreciate the visit. The thoughts on last weekend and thoughts today as well. Good luck this afternoon. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it. Take care.
John DeSilva of RacingWithBruno.com. We'll take our next break when we come back. Dave Rodman of Laurel. Stay tuned.
Missed one of our TV shows? No worries. Now you can catch all your favorite programs online. Simply log on to CapitalOTB.com and click on the YouTube link at the bottom of the homepage. And look for our new podcast coming soon. CapitalOTB.com. Log on today.
Fascinated by the world of horse racing? Interested in honing your handicapping skills? Class is in session. Night school, Monday nights. Easy to access online. It's free, interactive, and informative for the casual and serious race fan. Horse Player Now Buzz. Live horses to watch emailed to you daily. Our eyes, your prize. Night School in the Buzz. Visit horseplayernow.com for details.
Each morning on the OTB TV network, you get the very best in horse racing programming. Weekdays begin with the Handicappers Report, where professional handicappers share their selections and analysis of the day's racing. Followed by Racing Across America, a daily conversation with racing personalities from around the country. Saturdays include Down the Stretch, where Mark Cassano speaks with the biggest names in racing. And Sunday mornings, it's Loose on the Lead, where Steve Bick and I offer news and a unique lineup of weekly guests. All here on the OTB TV network.
Funding your Capital OTB bet account is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Easy Money. Clearly the fastest and easiest method of depositing funds into your account. Make deposits or withdrawals in just minutes. 2. Green Dot Money Pack. Gives you instant access to your funds. Green Dot Money Packs are available at thousands of retailers nationwide. And 3. MasterCard Visa. Simply click on the link from the funding page, enter your account information, and fund your account. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
This is Steve Beck. Join me Tuesday through Saturday here on OTB TV for At the Races, my Sirius XM daily news magazine of the thoroughbred industry. Handicapping, interviews, analysis, everything you could want. 6 a.m. OTB TV.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. Again, Thursday morning means our regular visit from Dave Rodman at Laurel Park. Good morning, Dave.
Hi, good morning, Seth.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, pretty good, yeah. And we gave away apple and pumpkin pies here at the track.
Oh, nice.
It's our annual, full size. And this year they baked them on premises. So
Gave away to like every patron?
Yeah, well, I think it was 6,000 total, while supplies last at Laurel and Pimlico. So
How were they? Did you have a taste?
yeah, they're delicious. They were baked on premises this year rather than buying them from a vendor, and so that meant for days leading up to Thanksgiving, I had to walk down from the roof, and the cinnamon apple
Yes.
rising to the top, and it was like every day it smelled cinnamon apple pie.
We're here at the Clubhouse Racebook. We're in the building, and our studio is in the back of the OTB Clubhouse Racebook, and we share with a local supermarket, the ShopRite, and occasionally I'll walk out the back door after the show, and you can tell they're baking the donuts, and yeah, it's very it's very disconcerting, but I love apple pie, so that sounds like a great promotion.
Well, back till a few years ago, it used to be apple, pumpkin, or mincemeat was the choice, and I think mincemeat got eased. So also ran nobody really went for them. So now we're just down to apple or pumpkin.
Yeah, that sounds like a little bit of an anachronism. I think maybe 50 years ago you would have gotten some tastes on that, but now I think apple and pumpkin.
It's part of the Maryland tradition, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll go with the soft shell crabs rather than the mincemeat pie.
Right. Some people really love them, and every year I hear, why didn't you bring back the mincemeat? So I don't know.
But I'm sure there's a certain age group that's saying that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dave, before we get to some races today, and we're also going to look, you got a nice stakes card on the weekend, I wanted to touch back and get some of your thoughts on the big weekend of Thanksgiving racing, and one I certainly wanted to touch on that kicked off the weekend over at Penn National on Wednesday night, the night before Thanksgiving. Ben's Cat got it done for King Leatherbury. That had to be fun for the folks in Maryland.
Yeah, we wanted him to run here, obviously, but King had that spot picked out, and it was just a surreal kind of looking race. The snowflakes are falling. It was chilly, and it was. I was rooting for him down the stretch. He's just a wonderful, amazing horse, and I think King said he's going to maybe try to come back next year at Pimlico and win the Mr. Diz Stakes. That would be, he's won it 3 times. He's looking for 4, or 4 times looking for 5. But it'd certainly be a I get kind of a record that I would know of. I mean, I don't remember a horse winning that many stakes races here year after year after year, not since I've been here at least.
Yeah, that'll be something because he has definitely this year, going back to really last year as well, and a little bit into the year before, certainly has hit the radar and become fun to follow. And then you add in King Leatherbury as the trainer, the venerable leader down there in Maryland racing. Certainly has been fun. Any other thoughts on the weekend racing? The Clark will take charge, the Remsen with Honor Code, the Cigar flat out. Big weekend.
What do you want to know about Cairo Prince that I haven't sworn up and down about? I really liked Cairo Prince in that spot, and the pace was ridiculous, and he was wide. Yet, you got to hand it to Honor Code for coming off of a turf-like pace on the dirt. I'm very interested to see these two match up again. I mean, I thought I knew Honor Code was a legitimate horse, but I thought Honor Code was an improving legitimate horse, and I thought he could beat Honor Code. So I hope they both stay healthy, and they'll meet again, and we shall see.
Yeah, I think all three finishers in there will be fun to watch going forward early in the 3-year-old season. It was certainly a fun weekend of racing. And
actually, Seth, I think there was another horse on the card that caught my eye. Was singing the Beach Boys song, Surfing USA, was it? They ran on the undercard there. It was the same day, a maiden winner, second time out. He's going to be okay. One to take a look at it.
Well, let me ask you that, because I know you do like the 2-year-olds. Did you watch any of that Stars of Tomorrow at Churchill? And the one that caught my eye was Gold Hawk, the horse that won the last race.
No, I didn't watch a single race, unfortunately. Just kind of too busy here, but I do want to go back and review all of those races, so I'm kind of in the dark about those. I apologize.
Yeah, well, I mentioned Gold Hawk just because we've watched the race here on the show earlier this week, and Tapiture won the Kentucky Jockey Club for Asmussen and Winchell, and then the very next race, the finale that day, again, it was Asmussen and Winchell with a first-time starter, Gold Hawk. But again, that was one that kind of caught my attention.
Okay, well, I'll look at that. I did see the Tapiture race on replay, and I thought, he was okay. I wasn't super impressed by him as some people were. They claim he's still green and he's learning, and maybe that's the case. But I was more impressed by the New York runner.
Yeah, the only thing, Tapiture now has a nice stakes win over the track, and certainly that counts for a little something. But we'll see. I say that I was on Uncaptured early last year, and it didn't work out for him. He had a couple of stakes win over the track, so it doesn't always work out. But let's shift our attention out to this afternoon down at Laurel, and you're going to take a look at a few races, and then we're going to look out at some of the Saturday stakes action as well. But this afternoon, you're going to kick things off looking at the 3rd at Laurel, and I just want to ask you before we actually delve into it. 3rd at Laurel today is on the turf. You get any feel for how much turf racing you'll have down there?
I think this is going to be it. I mean, it's going to rain tonight, tomorrow. So there's 2 scheduled tomorrow, 1 scheduled for Saturday. I don't know whether they're just going to go ahead and run on tomorrow since this is it, and maybe take the one off turf Saturday. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last week. I haven't heard of officially, but then again, that's what I said about a week and a half ago.
Yeah. And you get into December, everything's a bonus after that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have run on it. This, I believe, would be kind of tying a record for us. I do remember a few years back when we were actually upper 70s kind of weather in the first week in December, and we did run on it into the first week in December. So we've got a lot of use out of the turf course this year, especially in the fall when we just kind of had a really good streak of weather, and it's held up quite well. You see there's a few clods popping out there in the back of the field now, so I would think this is going to be the last week. It's just going to be too cold at night, I would think.
Yeah, like I say, you get this late, it's just a bonus anyway. All right, the 3rd race, as mentioned, is going to be on the turf. A conditional claimer, 20 to 25 tags, non-winners, a 2 lifetime, mile on the turf. Your thoughts there?
Okay, now we're talking about something I know about, right? Local racing. I like number 3, Write a Song, a little bit in here. He's never started over the Laurel turf course with trainer Tony Wilson. In the last 5 years of Laurel means business with a limited number of starters. He's 4 for 13 here at Laurel in the last sample from actually going back, I forget what the first one was, but that from Daily Racing Form Formulator. And recently popped with a 6-1 winner here on November the 27th, a horse called Do It With Honor that was on the dirt. So The horse has good company lines from Monmouth. He's got tactical speed, which I think you kind of need to have here on the turf. So I'm going to pick him today. Right a song.
All right, very good. Trevor McCarthy on board there. Race number 6 this afternoon at Laurel is a maiden special weight event. They're going to go 3/4 of a mile.
Litigious number 8 took a ton of money very late in his debut November 2nd on the turf. Scat Daddy filly, you would think she'd like the turf. She didn't respond. Was a little bit reluctant to load. Then they blinkered her up, put her on the dirt, and she just almost ran off with Forrest Boyce in that opening quarter to half mile. Very quick fractions, 22 and 3, 46 and 1 for the day. Extremely quick. And if she can settle this filly down a little bit, maybe obviously keeping the blinkers, but maybe kind of a different kind of blinker, or maybe they've done something in between that race and this race to kind of settle her a little bit. I think she's speed, of any speed in this spot. Just hoping she doesn't go as fast early as she did last time out.
Yeah, 8-1 on the morning line. That does look like an interesting horse. You know, third career start. This is a 4-year-old, so got a late start. Showed some nice speed last time, and that may be one to build off of. So I think litigious.
And she did take a ton of money late in the debut. And the filly that beat her last time out, Addison Run. I know Runaway Dame, who's also in here, beat her too. But the filly that beat her, Addison Run, I know was a highly regarded Larry Murray trained runner for the Benders. They thought quite a bit about and got the maiden win there.
All right, we'll hope that morning.
Actually ran in New York. New York Addison Run did in the debut, you might remember. Okay.
All right, we'll hope that morning line holds up. And in the 8th today, again, back on the turf. Feature race, allowance non-winners are one other than. They're going to go 5.5 on the grass.
Love Subtle Signal at a price last time out as speed at 40 to 1. I don't think you're going to get that today. Apprentice Cecily Evans on back that particular afternoon. She's out with injury, but a more experienced rider on back this afternoon for the always consistent Juan Vasquez barn. This filly was kind of a hidden gem speed horse last time out. She's very quick early, and I think she's got that speed for a wire-to-wire tour here in the 8th. If you're looking around her, there's a couple of horses that kind of like a little bit. Maybe Bonatini, who ran some big numbers back at the Aqueduct a long time ago on the turf, could be a timely claim. Vested in Town was a 2-time winner. That's the 4-horse here at Laurel. And I think that's about, and the outside, the Bop Express for the Bev Heckrot barn might offer a little bit of live value in here too.
All right, sounds fun for the feature race. And again, as we're winding up turf racing potentially down there, nice full fields that should offer some value if you play into them. Dave, want to look out at Saturday. As I say, there's a nice stakes card down there. We're going to take a look at some horses that'll be running on the card, get some of your thoughts. The 4th race on Saturday at Laurel will be the Gin Talking for 2-year-old fillies. I pulled up some video here going back to November 3rd at Aqueduct, the opener that day. It was a maiden special weight event. 2nd career start, Mamdouha for Kieran McLaughlin and Shadwell is going to get it done. We're going to watch the stretch run there. It will be number 2, Mamdouha, winning it pretty easily as the 7-5 favorite. Mamdouha now in the 3rd career start will ship down to Laurel to try that Gin Talking on Saturday. What are your thoughts there?
I was hoping you could tell me that race wasn't as good as it really was. I don't know. Bumped at the brake, slammed at the brake was actually the long comment there for this filly. And I remember a few weeks ago on the show, I really thought there was a Fletcher, New York, Coca-Cola, who was kind of a cinch down here, you know, based on the New York race. And the track was a little cuppy for her and deep, and she didn't break well. And you know, she ran okay and got beat by a really nice filly training from Beulah who'd run at Mountaineer. And I don't know. I mean, obviously she's the filly to beat in here, but I kind of am going to the local filly in that race, Respectful Wishes. She's very, very, very quick early. We know she likes Laurel. She's 2 for 2. So I'm going to give an edge to the local filly in here. Could be quite a nice race if Mamdouha, we see there in the video, shows up here in Maryland for the first time. I don't know. What did you think of that race? Personally,
I pulled up Mamdouha because I'm with you. I'm not quite sure what to make. You know, it's a 2nd career start. It was very impressive, and that's probably the way I would tilt. But I have no disagreement with you. I always like these races, horses that have run over the track and have, you know, some proven experience. So Respectful Wishes is certainly going to attract some attention as well. But I'm with you. I'm not quite sure what to make of the McLaughlin horse exactly.
And Tupancy Links is an improving filly there. for Vernon Allenson. She was second to Naive Enough. I believe, yeah, she was at Churchill the other day, wasn't she? Ran okay. And Access to the Moon, another highly regarded Larry Murray horse, and then put it all together in a little bit softer maiden special weight field. That she's the kind of filly with tactical speed that seems to be on the improve. I'm kind of looking to beat Mamdouha. We'll see.
All right, and I do want to get your opinion on the other 2-year-old race. This is the 2-year-old boys, the Marylander, race number 8 on the card on Saturday. $100,000 purse. They'll go 7 furlongs. I want to get your opinion because I wanted to go back to Laurel on November 16th, the James Lewis. This was for 2-year-olds going 6 furlongs. We're going to watch the stretch run. Number 4, Jesse the Marine's going to get it done at 35-1. Just get up there. It will be Jesse the Marine getting it done. Again, the number 4 horse. And Dave, again, I wanted to get your opinion because Jesse the Marine, now a couple of wins and 4 career starts. A third win, actually, via disqualification. Came under the wire first twice and then was moved up. So 3 wins and 4 starts coming into Saturday's race. And given that, you wonder, how did this horse pay $70? I think they were looking at the buyer figures. I'm certain that's what folks must have been keying on. But subsequently, last time out, a nice 88 buyer. So was it an aberration or did the light bulb just turn on for this guy?
Well, a few things helped this colt. Number one was a race with a lot of early speed, and it was a large field with a lot of early run type 2-year-olds, very fast 2-year-olds in there. And he got a good trip. Now, the thing is, he came up the rail on the perfect trip kind of run, and the rail wasn't that good that day. So I think you've got to bear that in mind. And he had run against, if you remember on the show, had run against a horse named Interchange.
Yeah.
That I was kind of high on. Actually, I looked up that horse. He's back in training. So I think he had his first work back the other day. So I'm looking for him maybe to make some noise somewhere, probably Oaklawn. I'm not really sure where he's going, but I believe the connections are kind of that way. But in any case, Jesse the Marine did have the perfect trip and the perfect setup with a lot of speed. And stretching the 7 furlongs, shouldn't be a problem for him, obviously, because he's run okay going a mile at Delaware. But joint custody could be, who was 4th in that same race, was also down to the inside there, kind of the worst part of the track. And I'm looking for him maybe to show a little more early speed here. The opening quarter for him could be critical with a good break from the gate if he can establish some position in there.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
Classic Jock and Roll is an interesting horse, too. Lasix for the first time. He's got a lot of talent. He worked November 30th, WST and Curiosity got the best of me there. That's Westhampton Farms in Mount Holly, New Jersey. I don't know anything about the place, but apparently they shelved him and they put him up there for a few weeks. And, he's an improving colt by Giacomo that can make some noise in the spot. So I don't think Jesse the Marine is a cinch to win it right back again.
Yeah, those 2-year-old races are very interesting. And, Dave, we only got about 30 seconds left, but I just did want to touch on also you have the Broad Brush, and I'm bringing that up because also on November 16th, again, another nice stakes card back then down at Laurel. But in the Jennings, again, it was 8 too fast to catch. He looks like he's going to be awful tough in the Broad Brush on Saturday again.
Well, we were talking about this in the press box last evening. If the field stays intact, he could probably be the most overbet horse of the month, I think, because he's had a couple of easy kind of lead kind of trips. This is a tough field here at 1 1/8. You've got a horse like AP Chino coming back in a 6-day rest here, and Ponzi Scheme, who is second time for Claudio Gonzalez, coming out of a real tough race at Penn National 10 days ago on a good track. And both of those are really nice horses, eligible to improve, and a 16-time winner, Lucy's Bob Boy, who I think has the credentials here to step up out of WV Company and maybe test 8 to fast to catch early in the race. So if it remains intact, I got to say, I think he's going to be overbet, Seth.
Yeah, and then you look at Lucy's Bob Boy and Warrior of the Roses. There are also a couple of horses that may go up there and soften up 8 too fast to catch as well. So it's going to be an interesting edition of the Broad Brush, certainly. Dave, got to wrap things up. As always, we appreciate the visit this morning. Good luck this afternoon, and good luck to you and everybody out at Laurel on the weekend as well for what is a nice stakes card on Saturday. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. I'm going to finish my leftover Thanksgiving pie before first trade.
Very good.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Dave Rodman at Laurel Park, and that's a great promotion. Laurel Park handing out the pies on Thanksgiving out there. All right, that's going to wrap things up for Racing Across America for this Thursday morning. Dave Rodman from Laurel, a little earlier, John DeSilva from RacingWithBruno.com. We're here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., 10 to 11. Prior to that, it is the Handicappers Report. This morning, we hopefully gave you out some good ideas. So cash some tickets this afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.